Welcome to Rock Shop Talk. Our show talks best practices, fun anecdotes, and the latest cutting-edge technology in our field to kick your screen printing gears into hyperdrive. Today's episode features going green by making the rock transition. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be right back.
I want to welcome everybody back to Rock Shop Talk, your one-stop rock shop where we talk all things screen printing. Today we are discussing going green by making the rock transition, and we are joined by Tommy and Clayton Cline of Tommy Tees. How's it going, guys?
Going great. Thank y'all for having us.
Thanks for joining us. Absolutely. Also alongside of us is Mr. Merrill Caps, our creative producer.
Thanks as always for having me.
Newly joining our team, Mr. John Murray, FBM in quotes of sales. John, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thanks. Looking forward to this.
Thanks for joining. We'll get to the FBM later. That'll make sense later. But
Teaser.
Yeah, it's the funnest title we've ever given someone. I'm like, John, what do you want your title here to be? It's like FBM of sales. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, and he told me, and I'm like, okay, I like this. I like self-titling. It's always fun when people do that. You know, I had someone else decide they wanted to be Batman this year on the team. That's what he wrote in his entire position expectation. So it was funny. So wanted to kick off the show, talk about some stuff that's upcoming with ROQ. Wanted to let everyone know to log on to Impressions Connect. That's impressionsconnect.com. We've got a digital trade show coming up with Impressions and Impressions Magazine. It's open for free registration now. In fact, I think you can actually start perusing the trade show floor. It is a digital floor, but it's kind of cool. You can click on each of the booths. So instead of looking at your map like you normally do and walking down aisles, you just click, up pops the booth, and you know all the products, show specials, catalogs, videos. Done a really good job putting that together. It officially starts the 25th. But again, you can register for free now. Go peruse it. That is Impressions Connect. We are going to have some awesome show specials, as well as some really good educational content in both the Impress You section as well as in our booth. So come check out those videos, and we hope to see you all there. Merrill, do you have anything to add?
Just the booth number. It's 2619.
2619. You know, in the non-digital world, that meant something because you'd like look at the big aisle, right. You know, numbers up ahead.
Yeah.
Now you'll just see our logo. So I guess the booth number is relevant, but irrelevant. So cool. So join us on that. Well, let's jump into the day and our guests of honor here, Tommy and Clayton Cline. And tell us a little bit about Tommy Tees, how you guys got started, where the roots of the company are, where you're located. Let's give our listeners some background on your business and what you guys are doing.
Gotcha. Yeah, basically the way we started, I started selling shirts out of my apartment. And we're located in Ruston, Louisiana, a small town. And basically we started with the contract and everything out. And as we kind of grew over the years, we decided to do our own printing. We brought in a screen printer, an experienced screen printer, because I had no background. I was basically a salesperson.
Okay.
And as the time went on, we decided we started doing our own printing. We started probably in '87. We're doing the printing, and then after that, what happened was we saw our business start to explode, and the next step was getting automated. And as we became automated, we were selling to fraternities, sororities, because I was a young college student at the time, and basically we were able to give quick delivery. Word of mouth advertising back then was huge, and that's really what helped us really grow. That was well before all the good rock equipment that was out there. So, but
that's interesting. How? What did you start with?
We started with the 4-station 6-color Antec printer, manual press. Migrated to a 6-color automatic about 3 years into the business, and that's what started setting us apart. We learned then that speed was the way to attract more business, speed and quality. Mm-hmm. And that's what we are known for today. We're known for quality printing all along. And when we purchased our new ROQ equipment, we were able to just elevate the speed, the production, the ease of training for our employees, because we wanted to be simple, duplicatable business, and bring in someone with no experience and be able to get them up and running those presses. And it really just elevated our production, because we have so many high volume customers now that have relied on us, and their volumes were continuing to go up, and they need that really fast turnaround. And that really is what kind of catapulted us to the front of a lot of companies.
That's cool. So from, the mid 80s, you guys started manual, got into that first auto, and then I'm assuming just kind of added automatic presses from there as the business grew and
yes.
Gotcha. What kind of facility are you guys in now?
We're in about 17,000 square feet. We're in the process of building a new expansion, a new building, and therefore, we just need to expand. We're bringing in some additional equipment. We're running 4 automatics at the moment, and 2 pad printers. So we are bringing in, like I said, some additional equipment from ROQ. We're gonna really expand our fulfillment business, which we saw explode through the pandemic. We're also expanding the online capabilities because people want to be safe and they want to order from home, and we want to be able to take care of those guys.
So are you guys serving then quite a large web to print market in the promotional space? Is it direct to consumer?
We're very diverse in a sense. We do direct to consumer. We sell direct to wholesalers, which in turn wholesale to consumers, through the gift markets. And then we do a lot of fulfillment for customers, and we do a lot of work for customers that are doing their own online sales. And, we're doing several 100,000 prints a month for people.
That's nice. Tremendous.
Well, that's cool. I'm sure that through this pandemic that we've all been dealing with, nice to have that diversity, because I'm sure that you could see a part of that business, on that web to consumer kind of side of things really, take off. It's great to hear that you guys have grown through this and leverage that diversity.
The web to consumer business exploded during the pandemic. You had people at home that had a little extra income, and they were, had a lot of time, and they made a lot of purchases online, and our customers took advantage of that, and it really helped our business. It's a win-win. It's a team between our customers and ourselves. We all win when they do good. So,
absolutely. And for a little bit more background, while Clayton's sitting here next to you, this is your son, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So you grew up in this business, basically.
Yes, sir. So what y'all just spoke about was kind of before my time, but growing up, being around it for many years, I'm familiar with it, but I wasn't there at the first stages of the business. But it's just been a learning point ever since, trying to learn everything.
That's kind of cool. But you grew up then kind of in the shop. Were you always kind of around learning screen printing, learning, sales, learning, everything about the business? You kind of grew up there, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yeah, as much as I can. So one thing, growing up in grade school, what I really look forward to, when local teams and state teams around here would win the Super Bowl, national championship, stuff like that. Well, it was kind of a free day from school for me, because we would stay up all night printing. And always that. So you'd work hard, and I'd make some money, and then you'd have the next day of school off. So it kind of worked out great. So it was enjoyable back then, learning it, but also just, it kind of like a break to us as well, getting a break from school.
That's awesome. Merrill?
So you're saying that sporting events are popular in Louisiana, then, is what I'm gathering from what you're saying. And I'm being facetious as a Louisiana boy myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, especially those New Orleans Saints. Winning that Super Bowl was it was life changing for a lot of Louisiana residents.
Yeah. It was, and it was such a wonderful way to heal after Katrina. I remember that was such a meaningful jump forward when that happened, even though it was years after. What was that, like 2009, I think?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yeah. So 4 years after. Gosh, yeah, it was such a moving experience, like the kind of thing you read about in history books. One
thing I really noticed after they won the Super Bowl, the mentality of Louisiana people changed in the sense that, I remember all the Saint fans growing up saying, we're going to lose. We could be ahead by 4 touchdowns, and they were saying, we're going to find a way to lose. After that, everybody was saying, we'll find a way to win.
Yeah,
so just a real positive influence. I mean, it was more than just winning a Super Bowl. It was change. It was
paradigm shift for sure.
That's awesome, and really cool that you guys were a part of that. That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
There for a while, we could not find a black T-shirt anywhere.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get deeper in this conversation about going green and making the ROQ transition. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
With precision multitasking built into its very design, the ROQ ECO is the ultimate screen printing machine. With consistent high production speeds, a durable chassis for an extended production life, and special effects features like auto flock and foil, there's no stopping this ecosystem. For these and other expert solutions to help you press onward, please visit ROQ.us or call 187-ROCKET now. That's 877-674-8669.
We want to welcome everybody back to ROQ Shop Talk, your one-stop ROQ shop where we talk all things screen printing. Today, we are talking about going green by making the transition to ROQ, and we are joined by Tommy and Clayton Cline of Tommy Tees, and we're going to jump back into what it means to go green.
Heck yes. Thanks, Ross. I appreciate that. So in the beginning, you mentioned that you have several ROQ presses right now. So forgive me, how many are you working with? 4 currently?
4, yes.
4. Okay, cool. How long did you have your first before adding in your next one? And can you tell the audience what the thought process was behind that decision?
Basically, about 4 years from the time we bought our first automatic until we bought our second one, I was a little too conservative, slow moving. And the thought process was our workload was getting so heavy, we didn't really have a chance. We were forced into it. We were limited in our first location by space. So we were able to secure a building, which enabled us to have more space so we could purchase the additional equipment. So just, growing a young guy, growing a business, I was in my 20s, and just little fear, and it kind of slowed us from doing it. But I'll say this, 2 things I want to tell screen printers. The best investment I've made since I've been in business was, number 1, buying an automatic printing press, and number 2, buying the direct-to-screen machine. Both of those items, in my opinion, will absolutely pay for themselves. There's so many people, young screen printers and older screen printers, I see that they make a mistake. They go out and purchase new vehicles or something of that nature, and something that cost them money. What had really made us successful was buying equipment that speeded up our delivery times, better quality. That's what I felt like made us successful, along with hiring good, caring team members.
That's awesome. And before you guys went ROQ, how many machines were you running? Because I know that we've been kind of working through getting the whole shop green.
Yes. We were running 4 automatics, and the reason we don't need more than 4 at the moment was because ROQ really increased our production. And I thought the guy that was selling us, when Charlie told us it could increase our production 50%, I said, there's no way. But it's actually probably done more than 50%. And then obviously we can run a night shift. So
let me backtrack a little bit and kind of paint a better picture of like where we started and where we went through and where we are now.
Yeah.
I feel like we might have missed a little information. Sure. And if I'm wrong, or correct me, or fill in the blanks wherever I don't get. But when Tommy first started and had his first shop, we were in downtown Ruston in a little bitty podunk building, like a basement underground. So like he had, from what I can remember, when I was little, it was a 4-color manual station, and then like a 6 or 8 color automatic, and like an 8-foot tall ceiling, little bitty basement, dark, like jam packed, no room. So being there for years, and putting money back in equipment and everything, and saving, he had then bought a building on the outskirts of town, a lot more square footage, high ceilings, a lot more room, up front office. And where I think he bought 2 presses, American presses.
Yes.
American Centurion American press, and we had 2 of those for 10 or so years.
8.
Yeah, so we had those for a while, and that obviously from getting 2 automatics from the manual and the automatic really grew, and we were able to take on a lot more workload. Right. So from there, we built another warehouse down the hill in the back where my mom actually had a home goods store in there for a while, and we had extra space. So when Tommy saw the demand of work picking up, he got another deal on some more used American and Centurion presses. He bought used presses he's always bought used presses until really we bought 1 M&R and then the ROQ presses. So that's when we got 4 automatic presses. And there for a while, he was struggling trying to sell them because he's like, man, we will never fill these presses up. Well, being able to have the option to take on more work and then, getting our name out there and just building a good representation for ourselves and making those connections with customers and these big gift stores that move a lot of product, we've been able to take on a lot of work and fill on those 4 machines. And instead of adding more machines and more warehouse spaces, we were looking for a way to improve our productivity. And that's, I think we went to a show where we're going to look at, in New Orleans, going to look at a different brand's equipment, 100% ready to buy. Well, we show up and we're there talking to those guys and just wasn't really getting the attention and feedback that we were wanting. So we just kind of started walking around and came across the ROQ booth and met some of the ROQ guys. I don't remember who it was, but they were just, man, we had a great time with them. They were very helpful, very knowledgeable on all their stuff. And once we made that connection with those guys, man, it was just a no-brainer.
That's awesome.
That's really great to hear.
Great to hear from that culture standpoint that, just at a show, right? Getting that vibe and having that connection and good conversations. It makes the world a difference. And obviously, from what you were saying earlier, Tommy, the, increase in productivity that, initially you're kind of like, 50%, who's this guy, right? It's just another
Salesman
press
talk,
that they're telling me that does 2,000 shirts an hour that I'm never going to be able to load that fast, So, on that note, what has it done? What has ROQ done to the bottom line of your business? So we talk, 50% in productivity. What does that mean to your business and money saved and money earned? You don't have to give me dollar amounts, but just
I'm probably gonna answer it like a little bit like a politician in the sense that basically what the biggest way it's increased our productivity is the time savings of the setup and takedown.
Okay.
That has been that's the number one for us. The ease of getting in and out of the machines to set your products up, set the designs up, the integrated with the direct-to-screen system. We cut our production time, our setup time from, in some cases, 30, 40 minutes down to 5 minutes in some cases.
Wow.
So
it's really that big of a difference.
So this is the concept of using our pre-registration board or, with your 3 points of contact on your direct-to-screen unit. What direct-to-screen unit are you guys running?
iMage.
An eye image?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. So
We had the eye image. We had the eye image before we purchased the ROQ equipment.
It's okay, Tommy.
Actually, I've heard really good things about the wax systems, and that's, that was something we were actually looking at possibly doing, because we do so much high definition printing.
Yeah, it's a big
any little bit
difference.
extra would really helps.
Yeah, those wax units are nice. There's, a few of them out there. They all work great, but that definition, not having the inkjet in there and using the hot wax, makes a huge difference in detail retention. But so back to where we were at. So it's really in setup and tear down. So you guys are saving hours a shift, essentially going from a 30-minute setup down to a 5-6-minute setup. Are you guys having to play much with your registration, your micro reg, or are you guys kind of throwing the screens up, running a test?
We have tried to really fine tune that, and we've got it down. You got to be real consistent on your screens. We've got a great screen supplier. That's helped. It's a combination of a lot of little things, but the biggest thing that I want to say is, if you can gain 2 hours per day on 4 machines, you can do the math on how many more shirts you can print in 8 more hours. You just gained another 8-hour day.
It's like another 4,800 pieces easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll tell you what you need to know on how it can help your business. And, guess what? So many people worry about the top end speed of the machine. That's not really that important to me, because you can only load so fast.
Right.
But if you can set that machine up and take it down and get that next job on there and start it printing quick, that's where you're going to make your money, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So what led you guys to the ECO? I know, we've got a full series of presses. I don't think that we had the next when you guys purchased the first time around. So we had the U and we had the ECO. Yes. What led you to the ECO?
Actually, I think it was a couple of things. The index speed. Yes, we're not going to print at 1350 an hour, but the index speed and the way it stayed in one position longer, to give you a little longer time to load, even running at 900 per hour, we were finding we could load at 900 per hour just as easy as we could do 600 per hour on our American presses, because the print head, the pallet stayed in that position longer on the ROQ presses, because the index speed from station to station was so much greater. So the ECO, basically, with the high lift system, there was so many more pluses. We didn't want to have to pull that latch and go up. There was just so many reasons to use the ECO versus the not the next. At that time, it was the U. But we're purchasing another ECO because we're just very confident and very comfortable with that machine, and it's just flawless on the print quality. We can't. I tell you what, we can't say enough good things about them. We even painted our shop the ROQ green.
Nice.
I can't wait till we can go film there.
Yes. we have a ROQ green pallet jack.
That's awesome.
Our boxes are ROQ green. Tommy's Tees boxes are ROQ green. We basically, you asked what attracted us to the machines. The color actually got our attention. And I was walking in the show with my general manager, and he said, "Let's go check out those green machines." And so literally, that made a huge difference. So we saw that with y'all. So we're just kind of patterning what y'all did, and we're taking it to another level with our branding.
That's awesome. It's also oddly one of my favorite colors before I, came onto this side. Old 71 CUDA and that Plymouth green was like one of my favorite cars of all times. And it's not quite the same color, but it's so close enough. Oh yeah. It's an awesome.
Can I ask you a question of Tommy and Clayton?
Yeah, please.
I noticed when we were talking earlier, you mentioned you're using the Lotus. How do you feel that's tying into your business as well?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've got an ordering way I would purchase equipment. One is the automatic press. Number 2 is the direct to screen, and number 3 is the Lotus. What you just did with a Lotus Holland is you took the most hated job in the shop and made it one of the easiest jobs in the shop. I'll tell you a story. I had the lady that runs our printing press. I met her husband in the grocery store one day, and he came up and told me, thank you for hiring his wife and everything. And I told her, I said, she's one of the hardest workers in my shop. I said, don't thank me. I want to thank you for letting her work with us. And he said, oh, no, she has an easy job now. So he was referring to the Lotus Holland. Once we got that, it was an easy job. So yeah.
That's excellent.
So I add a couple more things to that. So that lady would clean. She can clean 100 screens a day by hand, but that's all she can do all day long. All she can do. She did great, but that's all she would do. Now, when we got the Lotus Holland, now while she's cleaning screens, she can clean squeegees, flood bars. She sweeps the floor. She keeps our shop spick and span while she's doing 150 screens a day, or more on some days.
Now, if she watches, you realize she's going to ask for a raise, right?
Yeah, and we'll be happy to give her one.
I like that. That's good stuff.
But it pays awesome for itself, and that's 3 people that a 3-person job doing all that, the squeegee cleaning, keeping the shop clean, the flood bars, the screens. Now that one person's able to do. So
that's great.
That and really so much healthier too, right? I mean, I remember in my shop, my guys in the back that were cleaning, I walk back there, they got a gas mask, they got stuff wrapped around their head, barely their eyes are poking out. And I always felt so horrible. I mean, back when I started, a lot of this technology didn't exist. I mean, or if it did, it was hundreds of thousands of dollars at the time. And there was like one person that made it. So I feel like, Lotus has done such an incredible job coming out with a compact unit that's totally affordable, in comparison on the market. But, you're like you're saying, you're freeing up labor, you're able to get more done. And I think most importantly, you're keeping your team members safe. I mean, this is a nasty job.
And a clean job.
We calculated that it paid itself off in right around 18 months.
Nice.
And taking a few things into consideration. Again, labor costs for another person to do some of the job. The savings you get as well, chemical savings. It's
definitely
your cost per screen dramatically drops when you start doing it. You're not pouring chemicals down the drain. It's good for everybody. Good for the environment. It's good for the whole. It's good for people's health. It's just a win-win, and it keeps your shop clean.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to go to another commercial break. And when we come back, we will dive right back in. We'll be right back.
The ROQ Reg presents the fastest and most accurate screen registration system in the industry. Get ready to press onward with the cutting edge of automated precision. Please visit ROQ.us or call 187-ROCKET now. That's 877-674-8669.
I want to welcome everybody back to ROQ Shop Talk, your one-stop rock shop where we talk all things screen printing. Today, we are talking about going green by making the ROQ transition, and we are joined by Tommy and Clayton Cline of Tommy Tees. How's it going? Welcome back, everyone.
Hey. Well, I got a couple questions from what we talked about before, just to wrap that up. You were mentioning about, Clayton, your experience with when you guys changed your color scheme to match the ROQ green. Can you talk about what that changed for your business after you made that switch and what people have said? I guess the biggest overall question is, I think a lot of, there's so many aspects of business to consider. And I think a lot of companies, as successful as they are, they miss out on the importance of color choice in their branding. And so what was your experience like when you shifted that gear to that green, et cetera?
Yeah. So before we got the ROQ equipment, we just had an old dark warehouse, yellow fluorescent lights, and just not a very vibrant atmosphere. And we got we got 2 machines when we first bought the rocks. We got 2 Ecos, got them put in, and man, we love that green color. And I think Tommy had the idea. It's like, hey, let's paint this green. Let's get this, kind of keep our shop the same color scheme as the machines and just turn it all the same atmosphere. So we did that. We did some black drywall on the roof, blacked everything out. We painted the floors gray. We put some bright gray tint up around the building, and we painted everything black and green.
Wow.
And put some bright fluorescent or light LED strip lights, and really brightened everything up. And man, now it really changed the energy and the atmosphere in our shop. Seems like you walk in, everybody's in a good mood, everybody's happy. It really just brightens your day, and you just go, hey, let's go, let's get it, get after it. It's really cool how just those few things have affected that and really kind of been for the better for us.
How do your consumers react? So it's like great for your team. They're coming in, it's bright, it's vibrant, they're awake, they're ready to print, do their thing. What about your consumers? When you guys have customers visit, I mean, is it like a wow factor? Like, what's the reaction?
Yeah, no doubt, man. When they walk in, they definitely, wow, especially when we first did it, they're like, man, y'all got a new shop. And they were taken away by it. And one thing I want to say before I forget, Tommy mentioned us actually getting our boxes green, like the rock, the same green color. So we'll have people come in the shop all the time from out of state, out of the city, and man, I saw y'all's green box on the UPS truck, or I saw your green box here. It just really catches your eye and stands out. It's brown cardboard. So it's really been a wow factor for us, our customers, and everybody else.
That is super cool. So is it fair to say officially off the record that going green cures the blues?
Good way to put it. I'll tell you this. The wow factor when a customer walk in, you talked about the customers, the new technology on these machines, it looks like obviously 21st century. It just gosh, I don't know how to say it, but it just wows them so much, and they're so impressed with it just reeks of technology.
It does.
Look at the machines. They're that impressive.
Wow, thank you for that.
Look
That's
futuristic.
awesome.
That was the word I was looking for. Futuristic almost. And we have them. We're lucky to have them.
That's awesome. And forgive me, the Eco that you're getting, that's going to be your 5th Eco, or are you swapping one out?
We're swapping one out.
Roger that.
We're swapping a blue one out.
Oh, again.
Yeah.
Sorry, you set me up.
Didn't mean
so,
to do that.
With the whole color shift and everything that you guys have done in the shop, I mean, it sounds like, with the Lotus, with everything else, you guys are keeping a clean, tight space. I mean, you talked about sweeping the floors earlier and making sure your squeegees are clean and everything else. Is that something you guys have always practiced, or has kind of the facelift changed that further? Has the machines changed it any?
Ross, I've always been like that. I'm a little OCD, I think, and I've just always been a neat freak. When I was in high school, I was actually a janitor for 3 years in high school.
Wow.
My brother and I and 2 friends, we were the janitors. So I've always wanted to, I worked just as hard as that job as any other job.
Sure.
And basically we keep our bathrooms spick and span. And when the Saints won the Super Bowl, a representative from Reebok came down to look at our shop to make sure we could do what we said we could do. He walked in the door. He asked to use the restroom, and he said, "I don't want to use the private one. Do y'all have a public one? I don't mind using the public one." And so he went in there, and he came out and walked into my office, and he said, "We're going to do business." And I told him, I said, "Well, I hope we're going to do business. Again, everybody'd like to work for you guys." He said, "Man, anybody that keeps a restroom as clean as y'all do, he said, we know you're going to do a good job printing T-shirts." So
that is so cool.
I like that.
What an accolade. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a quick meeting. All you had to do is stay clean.
Yes.
That's cool.
We were cool. Just, it was almost, that was kind of young in our, in our business. And that was going to be a major credibility building piece for our puzzle. And I mean, the guy came in, no doubt he was doing business with us.
Absolutely.
That was before the facelift, before the new cover.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things I will say about the facelift, I mean, we've got a pretty big community now. There's over 800 ROQ owners, in this country. Obviously, worldwide, there is thousands of them. And one of the things I'll say from like my 9 years of shop visits and training and teaching and stuff, anytime I go into a ROQ shop, it inherently is always cleaner. There is like the weirdest, it's not weird, but when you talk about like futuristic and technologically advanced, there's sort of a cleanliness that goes with that. It's like you think of, high tech, you think of a clean room, you think of, these colors, white, bright greens and stuff like that. And I will say that our community of printers, it is insane how many people have painted their shops, have done their floors green. I mean, we've seen all kinds of, really cool. There's one shop out in LA that's like got art all over every wall. I mean, it's unbelievably gorgeous. And I feel like there is a different like pride of ownership. I mean, I think that the press itself like almost commands this like clean shop kind of vibe, which is cool because I've been to shops, well, even my own shop that had cotton on the floor, this high up with glue, and everywhere you walk, you got ink on yourself. And it's interesting what the colors, what the brand, what the look will do for that like pride of ownership. It's kind of like that Ferrari that you want to keep waxed and covered in your garage, right?
Well, if you think about it, it costs what a Ferrari cost. And that's a good way to look at it. You wouldn't scratch up or lay a paint, bucket on top of a brand new Ferrari. This is the same thing.
Good point.
Absolutely.
Very good point.
This just makes you money instead of costing you money.
Right.
More of that.
Right.
So going back on your last question on the facelift and have we gotten cleaner since? Tom has always been clean, but one thing I did notice once we got the new machines and changed up stuff, it is kind of like you said, made everybody take pride in it. So everyone steps up and takes pride and wants to clean. It kind of makes everybody else be clean. So that's been very noticeable for us.
That's cool. So it kind of changed that culture then of everyone that's working with you guys instead of just one person walking around with a mop and a bucket trying to fix everyone else's mess. That's cool.
Yes, absolutely.
I got a question for John here. So these gentlemen have shared their experience making the green, going green choice. What was your experience like, and why did you make that switch, and what attracted you to ROQ?
No, honestly, I was pursuing Ross. Coincidentally.
Go on.
Wow, John.
Go on. This is a recorded line.
I was pursuing the company because I had an interest. The interest started long ago in Long Beach at a show. One of the things that Clayton brought up was when you go to the booth, you felt this friendliness, this openness. How can we help you? What can we do? And I appreciated that. I respected it, even though I knew I was on the opposing team. I still got it. Tommy brought up the technology. That's big time. I will never disrespect something I've done in the past. But if you see something that's made the same way all the time, and then you see something that keeps stepping forward, I've been extremely impressed with a lot of the folding line example. Everything ROQ does, they take it to the nth degree. And I like that. To me, that says we have solutions. And I can't tell you how many times in the past when you get a call, and it's like, not yet, but we're working on that. So I just see that ROQ's moving forward. It's got to drive the team, the partners. There is a difference between a partner and a customer. And you probably want to stop me now because I can go a long time. So.
No, this is good, man.
There's a lot of reasons, but I really feel like a part of a team. And it's almost like when I was with a past team that was, the drive was there and they're really ready to go and the equipment's there, everything's there, the stocking in Florida, everything that ROQ is doing, I think is positioning themselves perfectly. And I want to be a part of that. So there's a lot more, but that's really the reason.
That's
awesome.
That's great. I'm happy to have you.
Grateful to be here.
We're lucky to have you, John. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I like what you said about the green with the shop. It does make such a difference. I've walked into them and I've walked into the others, and you're right about the cotton. Oh, come on, guys. How do you work with that? But yeah, I think it demands the pride of the people working on it. And I think that's slick. I look forward to seeing your shop.
Great. We look forward to showing it to you.
And I look forward to eating some Louisiana food with you, which we were talking about.
He's the one to show you. He'll take you to the best spots.
As soon as I am allowed to get on a plane, which I know I could theoretically right now, but trying to respect my home situation and everyone involved here. But once I can do it, I will be very excited.
We need to take the tour bus there.
I might have to take a plane so I can start eating, and then you take the tour bus and meet me there. And
I was gonna cook along the way to like prepare you for what you're getting.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
But I'm not doing the dishes if I'm cooking. Just
I have no issue cleaning.
Okay. I don't either. I don't want to do both. Yeah. I draw the line.
So what's next for Tommy T's? So when you guys are just looking for the next, 1, 2, 3 years, what does growth look like in the future? Or where are you guys trying to take this thing?
We're on the verge of an explosion. We have so many new customers that their business is doubling and tripling and quadrupling. And at the moment, we have one customer in particular that's using 4 different screen printers. Wow. And the volume they're doing between 80 to 90,000 prints shirts per month right now, which in a lot of cases they are using 3 locations, tag printing, and then 2 locations in addition to that. So that's why we're actually gearing up now to be able to bring in more of their work, and then our other guys are doing the same thing. They're just the online sales business right now is just absolutely exploding.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
and what's happening as well, we almost have to turn down customers we were turning down. Now we're gearing up to where we can not have to turn some of these guys away. But they're bringing people to us because we're doing a good job for them. They're bringing other YouTubers and those type guys to us. That's really increasing our business as well. So the future, again, we're building a new facility. That ought to tell you something.
Absolutely. And it's just so fantastic again to hear during, this time that you guys are just crushing it. And when I was saying that there was like this cleanliness in rock shops, right? And, we've got 800 plus people running these things. One thing I'll say, I haven't heard about many, very, very few, probably on one hand, of our rock partners that have had issues during COVID. Everyone that I've talked to for the most part is, their business is booming. They figured out a niche. They were diverse enough, like you guys going into this, where, one thing may have, kind of not done so great, but then that other thing just completely, took off and doubled. So it's really cool to be a part of this family and get to experience this with all of you, from this side, because it's really, really special, actually.
I think another thing that's contributed to us is I've tried to pride myself on not being a prideful person. And by doing that, I've allowed my general manager and then Clayton, which we're 3 different age groups, bring their ideas in. And the young guys have some ideas. And that's what you see in a lot of rock shop owners are younger guys. And they see what's going on out there. They see the trend of where the business is moving. And they're going towards it. And we can't be closed-minded as older middle-aged guys like myself. The younger guys have some great ideas. They bring a lot to the table, and we just need to be open to doing that.
Tommy, if I can jump in with you, I would agree. And I also see the same thing with Rock because they're listening to their partners. And that's where some of these new designs and engineering is talking about how to save on labor. So I'm seeing the same thing with the company. And again, us middle-aged guys got to stay on our level, but learn. So
yes. We can learn something new every day, can't we?
Yes, we can.
Amen to that.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to wrap up the show with you guys letting everyone know where they can find you, your Facebook, website, Instagram, if people want to check out Tommy T's and their photographs and pictures and what y'all are up to. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that, I'm sure some people would love to check you out.
Absolutely. We're on all social media pretty much. I mean, Facebook's our most common. So Facebook would probably be the best place to check us out. And that is Tommy's with an S, Tommy's Tees. We have a lot of content up there, a lot of pictures. We have a website. We need to do some revamping with that to get it up to date. And we're also on Instagram. So Facebook, Instagram, and our website is tommystees.com. And that being said, one thing that, growing up, Tommy never ever advertised a whole lot. Like, playing ball and stuff, there's always a bunch of local businesses advertising. And I was like, well, Dad, why don't you advertise this? And he's like, our advertisement is just word of mouth. He's always just stressed me, like, do the right thing, treat your customer good, and they're going to go out and that's going to be your advertisement. Man, it's worked very well for us. We don't do a whole lot of paid ads or, we like to give our money back to the community, help our customers out and their events and just be good to them, and in return they're good to us. They spread the word, and it's really helped us grow. That's probably been the best thing for us.
That's awesome.
Super cool.
And you guys are in what year of business at this point? This is 40.
Pushing 40 years. I actually started selling shirts in 1981. Opened full time in 1984 when I graduated college. So right at 40 years of doing it. Yes.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
that's
phenomenal.
Just such a feat. Well, I want to thank you guys again for joining us. Tommy and Clayton, again at Tommy T's. You guys were fantastic. Really appreciate you. John, welcome to the ROQ team, and we're excited to have you. And
excuse me, Ross. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I just I didn't want our audience to be on the hook for yet another episode, so we have to tell them what John's title means now.
Oh, I think John's got to tell them.
Okay. So
they said what kind of title, and as I'm sure Tommy knows, title doesn't really mean much. You can I can clean the bathroom just the same as anybody else. So it comes down to what you want to do and how you define yourself. And I guess part of my background defined a little bit of me. So FBM is former Blue Man.
Yeah, I loved that when John brought that up. It was kind of fun. I love people making their own titles. Merrill, you made your own title too.
I did, but before I say that, I'm pretty sure I saw you in Vegas, John. I went to a Blue Man Group show.
Harrison,
yeah. I mean, you were incredible. So
thank you. Spot on with the switch,
Hey, yeah, my title. I mean, there's so many hats that I wear, but creative producer, creative director kind of fits as many as possible. So with that,
I just like that. I love having fun with those things, letting people do what they want to do. It makes them happy, and it's good stuff. Well, cool deal. Want to just remind everyone out there listening, join us on Impressions Connect. Again, that starts the 25th. You can go now and pre-register and start to peruse the booth at impressionsconnect.com. You can't miss our booth. It has our giant logo right in the middle of it. If you go to Expo and then Floor Plan, check us out. We got some good deals going on. Reach out to the team. You can come talk to John and any of our other resident ROQ experts will be able to help you out. Again, Tommy and Clayton, want to thank you once again for joining us. It was a great episode. Can't wait to get out there to Louisiana, see the shop, and go have some good grub with you guys. And to all of our listeners out there, continue to press onward and
rock on.
Rock on.
Thank you, guys.
Tremendous thanks for Tommy and Clayton Cline for joining us today. As always, thank you for spending time with us this week. Tune in at your convenience wherever you listen to your podcast by searching ROQ Shop Talk. Our next episode will feature best screen printing shop operation practices. If you'd like to request to be on the show, please visit roq.us/ROQ Shop Talk. If you found today's episode helpful, please recommend it to a friend who you think may find it helpful as well. Please like, share, and subscribe on social media. And until next time, rockers, press onward.